And again, they're getting plugged into my revised function here, this 2x minus 4 over x plus 2. And I'm only concerned as to whether or not I'm getting a positive or a negative, so I know whether or not I'm going to be above the x-axis or below. So let's first pick a value in that first region before -2. Let's go ahead and pick -3. So if we plug in -3 to the top and the bottom, let's see what happens. You get 2 times a -3 minus 4. And on the bottom, you get, again, plugging in the -3 plus 2. Question is this going to end up being positive or negative? Well, you get a -6 minus 4 on top, which is a -10, and a -1 on the bottom. Well, a negative divided by negative is actually a positive. So in region number 1, I end up being above the x-axis because it's positive. Now let's pick something in region 2, which means any value between -2 to 2. The easiest is going to be 0. So again, what we'll do is we'll plug in 0. So we end up with 2 times 0 minus 4 over 0 plus 2 on the bottom. So we get a -4 on top and a positive 2 on the bottom. And a negative divided by a positive is going to give us a negative result, which means in that second region, we're going to end up below the x-axis, heading towards negative values. Last value I need to test needs to be somewhere in region 3, meaning somewhere after 2. A good value to test would be a positive 3. So let's see what happens when we plug in a positive 3. So we get 2 times 3 minus 4 on top over 3 plus 2 on the bottom. Okay, let's see what happens on the bottom. We get on top and bottom. We get a 6 minus 4 on top, which is a positive, and a 3 plus 2 on the bottom, which is also positive. So a positive divided by a positive is going to get me a positive. So region 3 is going to be positive above the x-axis. So we're a positive number above the x-axis. Now, I should be able to answer all 3 parts to this problem all at once using my picture. So, part A is asking, when am I equal to 0? When do I cross the x-axis, which happens at 2? So my answer for A is just the number 2. Part B is asking, when am I less than 0? When am I below the x-axis? Well, that's going to happen in region 2. Be careful. Let's see how to write that answer. Region 2 starts at -2 and ends at +2. Now, no matter what, -2 should always have a parentheses because it's an asymptote. What's going to determine what's happening at +2, because it's just a regular point, is our symbol from our problem, which is just strictly a less than. That one, because it's a less than, not a less than or equal to, means that we will also use a parentheses. So that part is done. Now let's look at part C. Part C has us looking at, when are you greater than 0? When are you above the x-axis? Well, that happens in region 1 and region 3. So, reading that from left to right, we'd actually start with region 1, which starts with -infinity to negative 2. Now, no matter what, negative 2 is an asymptote, so I have to use a parentheses. Union. Now let's put in our third section, which starts at 2 and goes off to positive infinity. Again, this one's just a point, so it's going to be determined based on the symbol in this problem, which is a greater than, not a greater than or equal to. So we'll use a parentheses at 2 because it's just a greater than, not a greater than or equal to. So that's all three answers for A, B, and C. Again, notice we couldn't even start our problem until we got 0 on one side and only one big fraction on the other.